everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic video game franchises of all time, Assassin's Creed. From the Leap of Faith to the Hidden Blade, the Assassin's Creed series has been a defining force in gaming for over a decade. But with so many titles, which one really stands out and which ones not so much? In this Ultimate Assassin's Creed Marathon, we're going to rank every major game in the series that I've played up until this point, from Assassin's Creed all the way to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, looking at gameplay, storylines, mechanics, and what made each one so unique. So grab your hidden blades and let's leap right in. Before we jump into my official rankings of the Assassin's Creed franchise, let's take a quick look at the evolutions of Assassin's Creed. The series kicked off in 2007 with Assassin's Creed, featuring a brand new approach to open world exploration. The game introduced us to the tension between the Assassins and the Templars, a battle that would continue for years. While the first game had its flaws with repetitive gameplay, it set the stage for everything that followed. Currently, I have only played 11 of the main games, and so those will be the ones that we're going to rank. I'll be going through each one and talk about its highs, its lows, and ultimately where it lands on my list. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up to the best of the best, so why don't we get started? Coming in at number 11, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This game took the open world formula to the next level after Assassin's Creed Odyssey, giving us an expansive Viking world to explore. Eivor is a memorable character, and the game's deep RPG elements, including raids and settlement building, really make this one stand out from the other ones we've had previously. The combat is brutal, the story is engaging, and there's a lot to love about this entry. While this game may be a bit overwhelming for some due to its sheer size, the world building and Viking lore are top tiered. It's one of the best entries in the modern era. However, in my opinion, it is not the best of the best. I mean, if we're looking at this here, I will say, when I get to the other ones, you'll see why this one's so low compared to all the other ones on my list. At number 10, I have to rank the original Assassin's Creed game. Now, obviously, this game is really important to the franchise as a whole, as after all, it's overshadowed by its sequels, and it laid the foundation for everything that followed. Set during the Third Crusade in the Holy Land, playing as Altair, member of the Brotherhood, it introduced us to the core mechanics of parkour, stealth, and the iconic hidden blade, something that would carry us through all games to come. Not only did it deliver a gripping story and a conflict between the Assassins and the Templars, it really allowed the franchise to grow and to prosper on what it had built. However, today's standards, Assassin's Creed on modern consoles is kind of hard to play. It's often buggy, there could be issues, and compared to the overall franchise as a whole, it's not one of my favorite, and so it'll have to take number 10 on this list. Coming in at number 9, we are moving on to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Victorian era setting in London gave us one of the most enjoyable duos in the series, Jacob and Evie Fry. This one had a solid story and a lot of fun mechanics, especially the ability to switch between two protagonists. It refined the combat system and gave us more freedom and exploration. However, there really wasn't anything new and groundbreaking in terms of overall gameplay. It was a solid entry, but nothing revolutionary. I mean, when you come to think about it, it did have repetitive natures to it as well. When you played as Jacob, you would often get into fights with other thugs to take over territories. Evie was more focused on stealth missions, so it kind of allowed you to split between the two halves of Assassin's Creed that make up the entire whole, but overall could have been improved upon, and that's why it sits at number 9. Moving on to more recent entries, starting with Assassin's Creed Origins here, this one changed the formula entirely, introducing RPG mechanics, leveling systems, and a more combat-focused experience. This one set in ancient Egypt, it brought new life to the series and really refreshed the gameplay. Bayek was a great character with a strong motivation, and the exploration of Egypt was beautifully realized. However, the shift RPG elements wasn't universally loved, and some felt that it strayed too far from the core of what made Assassin's Creed, well, Assassin's Creed. But overall, Origins is a solid entry in my opinion that injected new blood into the franchise, and for that, I have to place it at number 8. It was a phenomenal game, and I do think there were characteristics that really made the franchise come back as a whole, and overall, Bayek's definitely one of my top 5 Assassin's Creed characters. At number 7 here, we have Assassin's Creed 2. This might be a little controversial for people because I know a lot of people like this as Ezio's one of his first entries into the series, and people love this game. And there is a reason why this one is my number 7, and I'll get into it once I get higher up on the list and reveal some of my other categories. But currently for me, this just sits at number 7. The game is setting a standard for the series, introducing the most popular protagonist, Ezio Auditore. The Renaissance Italy setting was vibrant, and the improvements in the gameplay it made was a joy to have compared to the first game. It basically took the core mechanics of the first game and just improved them, offering a more focused and rewarding experience. The story and the character of Ezio really carried the game and made it a fan favorite, and I can see why people loved it. It was a great game. There's plenty of great quotes in this game. You already know exactly which quote I'm talking about.
Bastardi! You think you can threaten me? I'll give you nothing! You want my children? Take them! I have the instrument to make more!
But as far as this game, I mean, it's definitely, out of the 3 Ezio games that we got, this one is my least favorite, but it's still phenomenal. And like I said, you'll see the other 2 here shortly, so you'll see where I'm coming from. At number 6, we have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This is the direct sequel to Assassin's Creed 2. It took everything in the previous game and obviously made it better, which is why it's higher on the list. The multiplayer mode was a huge hit, and the story of Ezio's rise to power in Rome was captivating. It also introduced the Brotherhood mechanics, allowing you to recruit and send assassins on different missions. You know, they really refined the gameplay and the world as we got to explore Rome, and the city itself felt alive. With the amount of side activities and everything that you could do, it really was a near perfect follow-up that pushed the series to new heights, and that's why it's number 6. And let's be honest, that literal trailer from Tobuscus definitely helped. Coming in at number 5 is Assassin's Creed 3. When it comes to this game, originally, I have to tell you, this was a lot lower on my list. Compared to the other games that were at the bottom, I mean, this was a game when I was a kid, I didn't like. I was like, it's boring. I didn't like that I had to play as Haytham for a couple of hours before I got to play as Connor. But having replayed this game a couple times as an adult, I have to say I was wrong. Set in an American Revolution and being able to try naval combat for the first time in the series really did a number for me. And it really actually, going back to play it, really make me enjoy what we were given. Yeah, there was pacing issues and everything like that, and the story kind of might have dragged on while the revolution was kind of like, in the background, but I'll be honest, it was still good, and for everything that it was, I have to put it at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Assassin's Creed Revelations, which followed up on Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. What I loved about Revelations was not only did we get to play as Ezio one last time, but it introduced new mechanics like the hook blade and the bomb crafting system. So we got to explore Constantinople and really kind of connect with Ezio's past of Altair and the future of Desmond. And so I really kind of like how it tied that entire arc together right before Assassin's Creed 3 came out. And honestly, it's my favorite game with Ezio, and that's why it's at number 4 compared to Brotherhood and 2. So while all 3 of them are phenomenal games, I think that's where I have to rate it. Coming in at number 3 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is a game that takes everything that Origin started and refines it to perfection. Set in ancient Greece, Odyssey offered an incredible RPG experience with multiple character paths, choices, and consequences. The world was massive. The amount of islands you could explore, the naval battles you can get into, and the story was epic. Whether you were playing as Alexios or Cassandra, which, to be fair, I was playing as Cassandra because she's my favorite, you could tell there's so much love in this story. It really pushed the boundaries of what Assassin's Creed could be, and that's why it's the start of number 3. Coming in at number 2, this might get controversial. Number 2 for me is Assassin's Creed Unity. Now I know what you guys are saying. This is your number 2 game? What is wrong with you? Hear me out. This was the first game that I played on the Xbox One, and I will tell you, I do know this game, obviously it was bogged down with the amount of bugs, glitches, and everything that it had with it, but I don't know if it was just luck or what, but I never really encountered any of that. This was a game that I got to play and actually enjoy and love for the story. When you think about it, it was the first game that had revolutionary co-op mode, it had stunning visuals, it had impressive AI. It really was one of the most visually impressive games of the time, and the recreation of Paris was phenomenal. And, you know, I really, there's nothing I can say that was bad about this. I understand it was, you know, glitchy and buggy for others, but for me, it was perfect, and that's why it deserves number 2. Coming down to number 1, you obviously know who we had to give this to. At number 1, we have Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, you already know that this is a fan favorite. First of all, who doesn't love pirates? The naval combat in this game was amazing, and the world of the Caribbean was vast and full of treasure. The story of Edward Kenway had its ups and downs, but the real star of the game was the open seas, being able to get into ship battles as well as, you know, sail the open seas for islands filled with treasure and shipwrecks. It really was the perfect game to make you feel like a pirate. It offered that unique balance between piracy and an assassin gameplay, you know, and for me, I think that's what made the game perfect. It kind of took the protagonist who wanted nothing to do with the assassins and really made him shine and be molded into this character that really defined the Brotherhood. And so for me, that puts it at number 1. And I think to this day, it is the best Assassin's Creed game. And hey, I mean, it even led to the quadruple A game of Skull and Bones. So I had to do something right. Now, before I wrap up, I have to mention 2 entries in the Assassin's Creed franchise that I haven't had the chance to dive into just yet, so I didn't feel justified giving them a rating, and that was Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Mirage. First up, Assassin's Creed Rogue was released in 2014 and offers a unique perspective, letting you play as former assassin Shay Cormac, who turns to the Templars. Now, this game, when it came out, I don't know what was happening. I just never got around to it. I believe it got released at the same time as Unity, and it was just on the consoles that weren't on, like it wasn't on Xbox One and PS4, it was on Xbox 360. And at that point, I didn't have that console anymore, so I was unable to play it. So I definitely plan on going back to play it after this review, and who knows, maybe I'll do another video where this can shake up the entire review thing. And at the time of this recording, I have not played Assassin's Creed Mirage yet. It's currently the newest title in the series, and while I haven't had a chance to fully experience it, reviews suggest that it returns to the roots of the franchise, focusing more on stealth, parkour, and the classic assassin gameplay, set in Baghdad during the 9th century to deep dive into the origins of the Brotherhood, and fans of the older games might find this one especially nostalgic. I'm excited to play these 2 titles at a later date, and it'll definitely be an important part to the series' legacy as a whole. So there you have it. My ranking of the Assassin's Creed games. From the best to the worst. I know some of you might not agree with my list, and that's the beauty of a series this massive. Everyone has their own favorites. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which game in the franchise stands out to you the most, and what would your ranking look like? Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss out on our gaming content. Until next time, stay sharp, Assassins.